There is a secret computer hiding inside your phone right now, and you are probably completely unaware of its true power. We all recognize this tiny piece of plastic, the SIM card. For most of us, it's just a key that connects us to our cellular network. It seems simple, almost trivial. But what if that key was not just a passive tool, but an active, miniature machine with its own will? Because that's the reality. This isn't a fictional threat. This is a capability that has been weaponized by surveillance entities across dozens of nations. Today, we're revealing how an exploit known as SIMjacker transforms the most trusted component in your device into a silent surveillance tool. To grasp how this is even possible, we must first re-examine everything we assume about a SIM. Modern SIM isn't a dumb chip. It's a full, independent computer. It has its own processor for calculations, its own memory for temporary storage, its own permanent storage, and its own dedicated operating system, frequently based on Java. Look at this list. A CPU, RAM, storage, and OSIT even has a virtual machine to run small applications, known as app. When you see it listed out, it becomes obvious this thing was engineered from the start to run code. And this is where the situation becomes truly unsettling. This miniature computer can issue what are termed proactive commands directly to your phone's fundamental hardware. And according to the very rules that govern mobile communication, your device, whether it's a brand new iPhone or the latest Android, has no option but to comply immediately. No permission requests, no alerts. The SIM is in charge. So, you might be asking, how does this hidden authority actually issue its directives? It operates through a system embedded in every single mobile device, yet it remains almost entirely unseen by users. It's called the SIM Toolkit, or STK. This isn't a glitch or a backdoor. It's an official, standardized feature created by the same bodies that define 3G, 4G, and 5G protocols. It was initially intended for carriers to provide simple services. But in effect, it converts your phone into a terminal that mindlessly carries out instructions sent by the SIM card. And we aren't discussing minor functions. The SIM can order your phone to dispatch an SMS that will never appear in your sent folder. It can demand your precise GPS coordinates. It can retrieve your handset's unique identifier, the IMEI. It can even force your browser to load a malicious web page or command your device to place a call. All without a single interaction from you. Picture it like this. Your phone's main operating system has all these advanced digital locks and security patrols at the main gate. But the SIM Toolkit operates in a concealed passageway that completely bypasses that security and goes straight to the hardware. All the protections we rely on, like app permissions and sandboxing, are totally meaningless here. Alright, so we've confirmed the SIM is a concealed computer with a privileged pathway into your device. Now for the critical question. How is that capability, weaponized vulnerability, the element that blows this entire system wide open? Is a small applet concealed on countless SIM cards called the ST browser. It was created for your provider to send you basic updates like your data usage, but it contains a critical weakness. It's designed to accept and run instructions delivered to it via a special, entirely invisible type of SMS. So, how does an attacker actually leverage this obscure browser to monitor someone? The procedure is, frankly, alarmingly straightforward. Step 1. The attacker dispatches a custom-built binary SMS to your number. You receive no alert. You see nothing. Step 2. Your SIM card's SAT browser automatically opens this message and runs the code contained within. Step 3. That code instructs the SIM to command your phone to collect your location and your device ID. And finally, Step 4. The SIM packages that data and transmits it back to the attacker using another silent SMS. It's a flawless zero-click attack. You do literally nothing and the intrusion is complete. Now, it's vital to comprehend what this special SMS actually is. It's not a text message with words that a human can understand. It's what's known as a binary SMS. Think of it less as a note and more as a physical key. It's pure machine code intended to be read directly by the software on the SIM card, completely bypassing your phone's standard messaging application. Let's get into the technical details for a moment. The payload, the code inside that message, looks something like this string. To a person, it's just a jumble of numbers and letters. But to the SIM, it's a precise set of orders. The byte 0xD0 indicates this is a proactive command. 0 by OF is the instruction to fetch local information like your GPS data, and 0 by 10 is the command to ask for the IMEI. You see, it's not a message, it's a script, and all of this culminates in the most disturbing part of this entire situation. Why the most advanced mobile operating systems on the planet are completely helpless to prevent it. Just observe the difference. Your phone's OS is constructed on a principle of suspicion. Every application is confined in a sandbox. It must request your authorization for sensitive actions. But the SIM Toolkit is the polar opposite. It was built on a foundation of unconditional trust. It gets direct hardware access. It never asks for consent. and it's completely hidden from the main operating system. Here's the core issue. The commands never even pass through the primary OS. They are sent directly to the phone's modem, the baseband processor, which is like a separate, smaller computer managing the radio signals. The OS has no clue it's occurring. This architecture is a leftover from 2 decades ago, a period when nobody conceived the SIM itself could be the threat. Today, it's a gigantic systemic vulnerability. So, at this stage, you might be thinking, this sounds like a legacy issue. My modern device is secure, correct? What about my advanced SIM? Well, it's not quite that simple. This remains a current and active danger. Here's the reason. First, there are millions of older physical SIM cards with that exploitable ST browser still active in devices. Second, providers almost never issue software updates for SIMs, unlike the regular OS updates you receive. And regarding the ESIM, an ESIM is simply a software-based SIM card. It can be programmed with the very same vulnerable software. Your phone's security is an illusion if the SIM is compromised. This leads us to the ultimate conclusion. You cannot patch this. The company that made your phone cannot patch this. Only the mobile network operators can, and it's crucial to understand who is executing these attacks. This isn't a lone hacker in a garage. Launching a SIMjacker attack requires entry to something called the SS7 network. Consider SS7 as the private, global nervous system that all telephone carriers use to communicate. Access is tightly controlled, meaning these operations are carried out by advanced actors, state-level groups, and specialized surveillance firms with significant resources. So, if we can't defend ourselves, who can? Well, this leads us to the only location where a genuine solution can be deployed. Real security must be implemented on the carrier's network before the malicious payload ever reaches your device. Operators have a few options. They can establish firewalls to screen and block these binary SMS messages. They can remotely send a command to all their SIMs to deactivate the vulnerable ST browser. And they can push firmware updates to newer SIMs to prevent these dangerous commands. The solutions are available, but they rest entirely with the carriers. The security analysts who uncovered SIMjacker summarized it perfectly. And this is the single most important takeaway from all of this. I am quoting them now. You cannot secure your SIM card. Only your operator can. No application you can install, no configuration you can toggle, can resolve a weakness that exists wholly outside the jurisdiction of your handset. In the final analysis, SIMjacker wasn't merely another software bug. It was a stark revelation. It uncovered a profound design flaw in the architecture of our mobile networks. It demonstrated that the one small component we all believed was so basic and reliable was, in fact, an autonomous computer built on an outdated foundation of blind trust. And that forces us to ask one final, lingering question. We've just exposed one hidden computer in your phone, functioning by its own secret laws. But what about all the others? The modem, the Wi-Fi controller, the NFC chip. Your phone isn't a single computer. It's a network of them, each running its own specialized software, each with its own potential secrets. The closer you examine it, the more you understand you don't truly know what's happening inside the device in your pocket. Stay vigilant. And if this exploration made you think, please support the channel. Give this video a like.